Hey guys, welcome back, and today we're going to do a little Q&A video. Basically, I am a 6'1" tall Miata owner, which you might think could be a little inconvenient for my life, but we're going to answer some questions and I'll let you decide that at the end. The first question is, how do I fit in it, and do I have to drive with the top down for headroom? Okay, so this is me in the Miata. I definitely do fit in it, and I think it's easier just because I'm a slimmer build, but I think that you'd still be able to fit in it regardless. And I do have like an inch above my head for headroom. I think that might be because I replaced my top when I bought the Miata, so it is tighter, giving me more headroom. But I think if you have a hard top, it will also help you if you're tall on the upper part of your body. But there are Miatas out there that don't have as much headroom as mine, but luckily that's not the case. The next question is, can you reach the pedals without hitting your knee on the steering wheel? Okay, so this is me hitting the clutch, and then that's the brake. And so my knees kind of like switch and rub against like the lower part sometimes, but it doesn't stop me from being able to turn the wheel at all. Especially like when I hit the gas, I kind of just tend to keep my right knee to the right a little bit. However, the only thing that I have noticed, just because it's summertime, is that if I were to pull the e-brake and try to take my leg out, it does get stuck between, so I would have to move my leg like out to the side first and then pull my e-brake. But besides that, I mean, I definitely don't feel uncomfortable driving the car at all. The third question is, have I ever hit my head on the roof going over a bump? So like I said earlier, I am 6'1" and I've never had an issue with hitting my head on the roof or anything going over a speed bump. However, there's two metal bars that connect to the soft top that my brother has hit his head on when he passengers, but he's 6'4" and our proportions are a little different, so I really think it depends on if you have a longer upper body versus a longer lower body, whether or not you would hit your head. Question number 4 is, how do I shift without elbowing my passenger? This is Bob, my skeleton, which hangs from my mirror, but basically I don't have problems like elbowing my passenger. Instead, I find it's when I go to shift into 5th gear. If I have a taller passenger, their knee is usually somewhere around here, which this is the stock shifter, which is a lot smaller, so when I would shift over, if their knee's hanging over here, I would hit them. But my brother bought me a taller shift knob, which I love it, except for when it's super hot out. It is really hot to touch, but it makes it so that my arm is a little higher, so I'm not hitting their knee as much. The 5th question is, does my seat go back far enough, or do I feel pressed against the steering wheel? So surprisingly, I don't really feel pressed against the wheel. I have like a comfortable position where my arm's still bent and it's not straight out, but I'm not like on top of the wheel. I do have my seat all the way in the back position, but like it does go up. Like this is a lot closer. I feel like a grandma if I were to sit this close, but with it all the way back, I feel like it is more comfortable. The only flaw is that is as far back as it goes, along with like the reclining, because there's no back seat and like the trunk starts there. That is as reclined as I can get to be in that position, but it's still super comfortable to drive in. The next question is, do I drive barefoot to get more leg room? So being 6'1", I have driven barefoot. Sometimes I decide to wear shoes that give me extra height, which it can be difficult because the pedals are already kind of close. So driving barefoot is a lot easier, in my opinion, to rev match and stuff like that, because I feel like when my shoes are chunky like these, my knees do tend to hit the steering wheel more, but I usually drive with shoes on. Question number 7 is, do I use the sun visor or is it pointless? I don't know if many of you guys are familiar with Miata sun visors, but I think no matter what height you are, they're pretty pointless. And I'll show you guys an up close look of what the visor does look like when it's down. Okay, so we're back in the car, and this is what the visor looks like when it's folded up in the passenger seat, and then this is what it looks like when it's folded down. So, I mean, if you fold it down, you basically can't see in front of you if you're my height. So I just always keep it folded upwards, and this part of the car kind of just acts like a sun visor for me itself. I don't think I've ever used the sun visor. There's really no need. Question number 8 is, can I stretch my legs on a road trip without stopping or pulling over to the side of the road? So, because of how long my legs are and how big my feet are, there isn't really much stretching my legs can do. My feet don't really fit between the pedals, so if I needed to stretch my legs, the only leg I'm really ever going to be able to stretch is my left one. Because of the dead pedal, I could like stretch it and like sit back, but my best bet honestly is just pulling over for a couple minutes and stretching my legs. Question number 9, did I need to modify the steering wheel / pedals to drive comfortably? I have not modified the steering wheel height or the pedal height. I know some people like to get the removable steering wheels and they just click it in, but I haven't resorted to that. I feel like I fit in it fine. I'm able to sweep my leg under, luckily. I know some people aren't gonna have the same leg length dimensions as I do, but I have no problem with it. Question 10, which is going to be the last question. Would I recommend a Miata for someone else over 6 feet tall? I personally love driving the Miata. Every time I get in this car, there's a smile on my face, and I really think that the deciding factor of whether or not I recommend this car for someone else over 6 feet tall is how your body's proportioned. I think there is definitely a limit. Like, if you're 6'7", you're definitely not going to be able to fit in this thing with the top up. So I would say, like, my brother's 6'4" and he still fits in it, but I think, like, comfortably, that's passengering. He can still somewhat drive it, but I would say, like, 6'4" is kind of like the limit for the Miata, but definitely give it a shot anyway. Like, you might be able to work it out or get a different steering wheel or do something with the pedals. So that's it, guys. Those were all of my questions that I wanted to answer. Sadie was here with me throughout this whole video. But if you have any other questions that you want me to answer, definitely let me know. And if I have time, I can definitely make a video and let you guys know. Thank you.